Now, a new cross-party committee of MPs has suggested that Parliament should stop sitting during the evenings and hold some of their debates remotely over video calls to make the job more family-friendly. It could mean restricting Parliament's working hours to between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m, meaning just 6 hours a day instead of 8. This has generated some criticism, as you can imagine, with more experienced MPs reportedly accusing the new group of being a little work-shy. Do you think that's fair, Kevin?
No, I mean, there are some club men and women who like the old House of Commons and like to lounge around it and don't want the hours to change. There's always that. But look, MPs wouldn't just work 10 till 4. Across all parties, it's a kind of call-in, a vacation once you're elected. It's what time the chamber was sit. There's lots of other stuff, committees, going to meetings, meeting people, dealing with problems in constituencies. One of the... You know, if you have to be on those green benches, and I work in Parliament, that's where the Mirror has its office, that's where I go every day. But one of the problems, if you're in your constituency dealing with, say, a flooding issue and you want to question a minister, you have to go into the Commons to do it instead of doing it by video link. Look, we're in a modern world. You can evolve the hours. It's not about them doing fewer hours. It's just changing how they spend the hours they work. And anyone looking at that chamber will see it's often empty anyway. It only fills up for the big moments, Prime Minister's questions, big statements. But you can, if the votes are at 4 o'clock in the evening, most of them can't go home anyway because their constituencies are miles away. But you can go and do other stuff, whether it's replying to letters, meeting people, going on a committee, whatever it is.
And if we want to encourage more women into politics and we want a more diverse group of people in the House of Commons, maybe embracing that sort of technology just seems like the simple answer.
Yeah, simple, easy, lazy, would I say? I just think, MPs, this is, to be an MP, it is your life. You are there to serve your constituency. Your first duty is to look after your people.
What about your family?
Your first duty is anyone I know that's an MP, they give their all to this job.
So
and you can't be sloping off and just saying, do you know what, I'm going to do it. I'm going to get home before it gets dark and do it on Zoom.
Well, Keir Starmer said he didn't want to work on Friday afternoon.
And he did.
No, Friday evening because his wife is Jewish heritage and he wanted to spend time.
So this is what I'm saying, is that some MPs are not that
for me, that was a terrible thing to say as Prime Minister.
Keir Starmer will work most Friday evenings, I reckon, because he's been away a lot for a start.
Well, he's got a bigger carbon footprint.
Nigel Farage likes to go down the pub. He's sort of partly having a good time in Clacton. He's partly working and speaking to people. It's like,
although apparently not very much time spent in
but possibly longer in the US than he has in Clacton. But nevertheless, he will work a lot. I wouldn't. I have many reasons to criticise him and others, but they work much longer hours than you or I.
But Kevin, if you are in the most important position in the country, if you are Prime Minister, you shouldn't say, you know what, I'm not going to work on Fridays.
They didn't.
He shouldn't have said that, because I think
Why not?
Because your first duty is looking after your people.
He knows
not
that.
saying I want to get off early on a Friday.
No, he knows that and he does that. But he likes to try and spend some time with his family.
I don't think that gives a good... I think, look, with our economy on its knees, we need people up and working and doing a 5-day week.
I would have thought, with your political views, you would have thought the less he does, the better. But do you think politicians should work 24/7, or would you allow them some time to sleep? Would you allow them some time to eat? Would you allow them some time with their families?
Their first duty,
or not?
Yeah, of course they're going to be with their families. But what I'm saying is their first duty is to look after their constituencies. That's what it is being an MP.
Constituents and they do. But at the same time,
that doesn't mean sloping off early on a Friday if there are other issues.
Oh, you've moved on to sloping off early on a Friday.
Or going off on a Zoom. I think to be there with the people...
Hold on. Right, Lizzie, you...
No, I'm just saying it's very important that MPs have the sense of working hard, and we look at what's going on in our economy at the minute. It's on its knees, and to show the example that they are working hard. they're not sloping off early. And I'm sorry, I will bring up the comment that Keir Starmer did say about Fridays, because I thought that was just so irresponsible.
Would it be all right if it was Thursdays
Prime Minister
or Saturday afternoons?
No, I don't think he should have said that.
So you must think he should never
That's his
try.
First duty is to look after his
You think he must
country.
never try, unless official duties coming in the way or there's a crisis. You should never try and have a moment when you see your family.
I didn't say that.
I'm going to go
You're
to the
being a
call.
ventriloquist.
No, I'm saying, well, that's what he's talking about on Fridays.
I'm saying his first duty should be to this country.
But he's not going to dispute that.
OK, Diane from Torvine, what's your thoughts on this?
Hello, Storm.
Hi.
Hello, panel, and I do agree with Liz so much. She hit the nail on the head. What should happen, Storm, is they should choose if they want to be in their constituency or if they want to be on Keir Starmer's front row. If they want to be on there, we'll just let them do that, but
I think
give it to somebody else to run the constituency. The constituency down where we live, it's a lot of problems and everybody's upset and they don't listen to their problems. They send them down to the Citizens Advice Bureau, and it's absolutely disgraceful. If he wants the consistency job, have it. If he wants the one in Westminster, have it.
But that is the problem, Diane, is that MPs have to do both. And I wonder whether actually you would feel better served if you had an MP in your constituency 90% of the time talking to their constituents and actually joining debates and things via Zoom, so that they don't spend, I don't know how long it takes to get from where you stay to London, to Westminster, but I'm presuming numerous hours. And so they don't spend that time commuting, and instead they spend that time working.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you, Storm, but all I'm going to say is they write books, right? They write books, nothing wrong with that. They write books, right? They go on Politics Live, they go on Question Time, right? And the constituencies where we live, they don't bother with them. They don't even know where their offices is, for some of the people, because they don't even know where their offices is. They come back on a Friday, right? I'm telling you the truth, Storm. I know it's hard to believe. They come back on a Friday, right? Have a couple of photographs done wherever to make them look like they're doing something, and then go back up to Westminster on whenever. My thing is, if you want the job in Westminster, have it. Yeah. But if you want the job in your constituency, give it to somebody to run it, because you can't do the two of them. They don't do the two of them right, and the constituencies are really
Diane,
bad.
I think you might be getting to the crux of the problem here without really meaning to, and that is that you can't work maybe in two places, particularly places that are so far apart, you can't serve both incredibly well, which actually makes me think that maybe using that technology has a place. It saves you time. But Diane, I'm so sorry that you feel so underserved by your constituent MP. Thank you very much for your call. Chris from Hampshire, what's your view when it comes to changing the working hours? We're talking about, I think they start in the House of Commons, you'd know this better, about 2:30 or something on a Monday, and they can be in there until 10:45. Yeah. That's not very conducive to a family life, is it?
No, you don't sit in the chamber all the time. You do other things, but you're right. It's not conducive to a family life. It's not actually a good use of your time either. If you've got to hang around for a vote at 10:30, that's going to be a foregone conclusion anyway. If you had it earlier, you could do something else with your evening. Now, you could do something for your constituents. You might do something with your family.
All right.
But both would be better.
Chris, do you think that sounds better? Just shortening the hours?
Possibly, or what they could do is maybe they could start maybe earlier in the day, so start at 8 o'clock, maybe finish by about 5, so they're not doing the late night sitting. But the important thing, they need to have the time to spend actually going through bills and legislation properly in good detail, because a lot of the stuff we've had recently in years has been pretty poor.
Chris, you make a great point. It would be lovely if they can shift it to an 8 to 5. I'm sure most of them would love that. But the problem is a lot of these MPs are coming down from different constituencies. We're talking about even up in Scotland, Glasgow, Inverness. They can't get down there for 8 a.m. unless they come down the night before, which is chunking out, I suppose, their actual family time, which makes it very difficult. So that does make things difficult, as I said. But what about using technology, Chris? Would you be up for that?
Yeah, technology, Zoom thing, like what they did in COVID. I thought, especially for like people in like the Scottish Isles coming down, that was brilliant, because I thought that shows a bit of progress. And to have taken that away, you think we took a step backwards, and you think they should embrace that, because coming from, say, the top of Scotland or Northern, that's a long trip.
It is, yes, it absolutely is. Chris, thank you very much for your call. Thanks for all your calls on this.